Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Fly the W. This is the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. There it is, a W flying on opening day for the Cubs. We thought it wouldn't get here. Cody's feeling good. Corey's thawing out at home. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. Here, I'm going to set the stage for you. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Cubs have the best record in baseball. They are the first-place Chicago Cubs. Kyle Hendricks leads the league in wins and ERA. Ian Happ leads the league in hitting right now. What else? Jason Hayward is batting .500. What else do we have? Robertson leads the league in saves. Anything else they've done today?
Christian Yelich sucks.
Nico Hoerner leads the majors in home runs.
Just like we thought.
Just like we all thought, baby.
And just like we all thought, the Cubs have never lost a game, undefeated since CHGO launched.
And that deserves
You're welcome, baby.
A crack.
You're
because
welcome.
God bless America. The Cubs are 1-0 in their last one, and that's beautiful, folks.
We're working on a sponsorship here for Cody, I think. We did have our Cubby Kool-Aid shots earlier, so we hope you're doing that at home. Cubs beat the Brewers. Milwaukee hasn't won a game since we launched CHGO Sports. The Brewers are winless in that time. The chat has been blowing up on YouTube. Joel's there. What a beautiful game. Ronan is out. Kevin Kaduk's in. Let's see. January. Hate Yelich. Rachel
we
says.
We all hate Yelich in this chat. I promise you.
Rachel's talking about Willie. Corey, how cold was it?
It was pretty cold. When the wind kicked in, it was pretty cold. But, you layer up. You do what you got to do. You have maybe a beer or two, an alcoholic beverage, whatever you got to do to stay warm. And as I told you guys before we got on, nothing keeps you warmer than a Cubs W.
Oh, yeah.
That and
you said a beer or two.
Yeah, we did say pregame we wanted you on a 6-beer limit just to keep the cursing down. Where did you end up at?
You would know if I went past that limit. You're going to tell.
I saw you on Instagram. You started your day at Nisei Lounge.
Started at Nisei Lounge. Yeah, I met up with a lot of really great people from Cubs Twitter. I saw Mario there from CHGO Blackhawks. So good to see everybody. And yeah, then made it in. I got my hot dog. Cubs won. Perfect day.
Hell yeah, man.
This was the Triple H win on opening day. Hendricks, right?
Yep.
Happ. And Hoerner. The 3 big stars of the game, really. A lot of guys had big game. Let's start with Kyle Hendricks, first of all, because he's going head-to-head against the reigning Cy Young winner in Burnes, and the Cubs were able to get to Burnes a little bit. Hendricks, on the other hand, comes out. And what was the over-under on strikeouts for him going into the game?
For Burnes, 7.5.
No, for Hendricks.
For Hendricks, 3.5.
And when he ends up with 7.
Yeah. And Burnes was 7.5. He went under.
The changeup was working for Hendricks. You could see it early on. He made some guys on the Brewers look really stupid in this game with some ugly swings. And this was his 3rd opening day start of his career. We've talked ad nauseum in the offseason leading up to this about this being, he was coming off the worst season of his career.
Yeah.
And not terrible, but his ERA was over 4 for the first time in his career.
I'd like to personally apologize for putting Kyle Hendricks on my trending down graphic.
Yep.
I will say I am not always right. I will say, though, when I am right, I'll let you know. But at the same time, when I'm wrong, I'll definitely let you know as well. I play fair. I'm a fair man on the field.
We got January in the comments. She says, "Where's the little guy, the one who is usually in the middle?" I believe that means Ryan Herrera.
Yes.
Yeah, he's at the press box.
He's in the press box. He's getting the post-game interviews. We're hoping he's going to join us, that Ryan will be able to join before the end of the show. If he doesn't, look for his stuff.
He'll definitely be on tomorrow.
Both Jared and Ryan are at the ball game, and you'll be able to read their stuff at allchgo.com.
Exactly.
So make sure you subscribe and become a member there for all the inside information.
Yep.
Hendricks
I
thought Hendricks was great, And this is why you want to see Kyle Hendricks be the opening day starter, because he's earned it. He's earned that right. He may not be the pitcher that Marcus Stroman is this season. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that when you give the ball to Kyle Hendricks, and I'm using the nickname of a Hall of Famer, an all-time great, he's a bulldog out there. You're going to get a guy that's just going to get in the head of the other team. He's going to work the corners. He's going to do everything he can to fool a batter, and he will compete.
Yes.
Kyle Hendricks isn't this overbearing guy that you look on the mound and you're like, oh, here he comes. Kyle Hendricks competes with anybody in baseball, and that's why I like him as your opening day starter. And he did it again. What was it, 2020? It was the complete game.
Yeah, he threw a complete game in 2020.
Right? But this was good.
This was
good.
This
was real good.
5 1/3. We talked about in pregame how we weren't really sure how the starters were going to look because of the fast spring training and stuff, and that was why I was big on the Burnes under strikeouts. But to me, like what Hendricks did today, it was just another reminder that we are honestly kind of spoiled by the guy. Like I know last year was technically his worst year of his career, but we've talked about it as well. Those 16 starts he had from May to August or whatever, he was one of the best pitchers in the game. And this is a guy that in an era where if you're not throwing 95 plus, you're probably not that good. And he just continues to go out there and just gives you quality innings. That at the end of the day, that's all anyone wants is quality innings. And that is what he did today. The only thing that he did that towards the end in that 5th inning, you could tell through that 3rd time through the lineup, they started to hit him a little harder.
Right.
That's something that we're used to seeing. But other than that, man, I got no complaints about him today. He gave the Cubs exactly what they needed on opening day, setting the tone for the season for the team and everything. And, I can't say enough.
5 1/3, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 83 pitches. Corey, he was classic Kyle Hendricks. You knew he wasn't going to have a complete game in this one, but considering the season he was coming off of and a short off season in spring training, it was pretty incredible to watch him work today against the Brewers.
That was some vintage stuff. I mean, as the season goes on, you'll want to see him go longer into games. But we all knew, as Cody said, that was kind of going to be the case. But it started, like I said, vintage Hendricks. A lot of weak contact, pop-ups, weak grounders. And you knew Kyle's one of those guys where when you start seeing guys that are that off balance, that late on the changeup, or that early on the changeup, it's going to be a good day. And he had that working early in this one, getting those whiffs on the changeup. They're throwing it up on the screen and you're like, okay, yeah, no, this is going to be a good day because he's got that changeup working. And that's why you see all the strikeouts.
And working with Wilson Contreras behind the plate, we were worried that he might not make it to opening day and might be traded away. He's there. Yeah. He's on the Cubs. And he got drilled again by the Brewers.
Yeah.
I don't think this one was on purpose, but it looked as if Wilson turned around and said, they were like, we're not trying to hit you. And he was like, come on, we'll try harder because you guys are terrible.
Yeah. Everyone knows I'm going to sit here and stand the Cubs for almost everything. And Wilson Contreras is one of those guys. But I don't want to call this a flaw because a lot of his energy and everything is good for the Cubs and everything. And I kind of like that most opposing fans hate him because it's that's our guy. You know what I mean? But I thought that is just a little overreactionary. I think it was John Greenberg from The Athletic. I think he tweeted that Wilson got hit 4 times last year by Brewers pitching. It's almost like so.
That's why.
In his eyes, maybe he was just overplaying it. But again, that's what Wilson is. Wilson doesn't forget those things, even if it has been a year or 2 years or whatever. He remembers those things, and that is what it is. I'm not trying to put him down for it. It's more of just
But Cody, I'll say this for him: they're supposed to be the best pitching staff in baseball.
Touche.
But they keep hitting Wilson Contreras.
I'm
not saying it's a spot where it would look like they're hitting him. I'm just saying You're supposed to be the best pitching staff in baseball. Why do you keep hitting Wilson Contreras? It's a little weird.
That is true. You make a good point there. Yeah, and when you're supposed to be the best pitching staff in baseball, you should not be hitting guys because
I like a little bit of the edge. You don't want it too much. You don't want to start fights all the time. But I like that there's we've seen at times with this team in past years there wasn't always kind of an edge to them. And I do like that from Wilson, where it's all right, we're not going to let you get away with too much.
By the way, for anyone that missed the pregame show, I feel terrible for you because our intrepid, wholesome reporter, Corey Freedman, really set the stage with a beautiful scene setter. It looked like he might have been outside at Murphy's potentially. I'm not going to say exactly where, but a very nice job with your reporting. We really appreciated that. Wow, that was the first televised YouTube report there, and that was something. It was very good.
I may not be a journalist like Ryan and Jared, but tried to capture the vibe. That's what we were going for. So got the sign in the background, a little bit of the energy going on. But yeah, I'm happy it was well received.
Scott Crawford says Kyle hashtag 2022 Greg Maddux Hendricks. Can't believe Luke hasn't said that he shoved. That was what's about to come out of my mouth, that Kyle Hendricks absolutely shoved on opening day.
He did.
Did I use that correctly?
You used it correctly, Luke. Congratulations.
How about...
also, big congratulations. You didn't fall asleep during the game.
I didn't. We were talking during the game, and I said, listen, this game is really slowed down. It's cold. It's cloudy. It's dark in the office. There's no way I'm making it through this season without one nap mid-game at one point. Like, I know I will be caught sleeping during the game.
When Grandpa Stuckey falls asleep during a game, you best believe I'm getting a picture of it. And
I'm on 3 green teas right now, and I'm still a little foggy.
The internet might get a taste of what sleeping Luke looks like.
Woo! How about Seiya Suzuki's Major League debut?
We haven't even
talked about Seiya. First of all, standing ovation. Corey, were you standing for Seiya Suzuki?
Come on, Luke. You already know. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
No, it was pretty good.
Most people were standing, but I remember in the first couple rows, I remember seeing people sitting. I was like, what are y'all doing? This is like the big free agent signing of the winter. Why aren't you staying for this guy?
Well, currently, Seiya Suzuki is leading the majors in Rookie of the Year voting, probably. You would think.
You'd think
a
so.
hit and 2 walks.
Yeah.
Nice debut.
Yeah.
Very nice debut.
From my vantage point, it was a pretty nice ovation. He kept getting them throughout the game, too. The crowd was good. It's a little cold, but there was definitely, a couple 2-2, 3-2 counts, like big moments that the crowd was into it.
And, of course, really the big moment offensively in the game. First, Patrick Wisdom knocks in Suzuki, who scores the first Cubs run of the season. And then Nico Hoerner comes up and hits a 2-run homer to make it 3-0 Cubs. His first homer since 2019. And this
it was 3-1.
3-1. 3-1, yeah.
3-1.
This is the great stat from Chris Kampka, the stat cruncher out there, one of the best in the business. First opening day homer for a Cub versus a reigning Cy Young Award winner since Billy Williams off Bob Gibson in 1971.
Wild.
Who had Nico Hoerner for the first home run in the majors this season? That had to be a prop bet somewhere. I don't know if he would have been offered as an answer, but wow.
Well, it helped that those other games got canceled.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's awesome. And we, he's your X factor. He's on. I mean, me, you, Ryan, Corey. I'm sure you're right there. We've been talking about how this is Nico Hoerner's make or break season in a way. We need to see, because obviously there are guys on the farm that are going to be on the Cubs eventually that are playing middle infield. And we need to see if Nico Hoerner does he belong here or not. And today was a good day for him, man. So I'm happy for him.
Bear Forever 14 with the $2 super chat saying Cubs get a dub.
Hell yeah.
Is that club dub? Or are we stealing
W?
that from
Dub or W?
Matt Nagy? Yeah, it could be W.
I think it's W.
All right.
Yeah. Grandpa Stuckey needs his nap.
Listen, I saw that one. Listen, the thing about Nico Hoerner hitting the home run is we were just talking about putting the over-under yesterday for home runs combined between Hoerner and Madrigal. Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, I'm taking the over because what was the number we had it at, Joey?
10.5?
10.5, the over-under?
10.5.
Okay. And I said,
it's looking great.
Over.
It's looking great right now.
It's looking great.
It's looking great.
I'm taking the over on that not because Madrigal hit a home run against the White Sox in Cactus League play. Nico Hoerner's beefed up, and I do think he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I do think he's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's a former first-round pick, and I could easily see him being the X factor of this season for the Cubs.
Right. When he was healthy last year, he like I said the other day, he was a difference maker in that lineup. I think Corey would agree with me on that.
And another guy you got to Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Well, and no, I was just going to say absolutely. And that's the type of home run, you hope that him and Madrigal can run into. You don't expect them to be big power hitters. They're not going to hit, Patrick Wisdom 470-foot bombs onto Waveland or Sheffield. But the homer Nico hit today ripped a line drive into the teeth of the wind, gets it into those, power alleys in Wrigley Field. Like, they can wear those out if they can strike balls like that.
And he makes a good point there because, like, that's what I felt that the front office is trying to bring in. Like, everyone's talking about how the Cubs don't have any power hitters.
Right.
But they got guys who were hitting line drives. Clint Frazier in his pinch hit at bat today, line one down the third base line.
Batting 1,000.
Batting 1,000, yes. Seiya Suzuki had those 2 hits. Ian Happ almost hit a home run. Stuff like that. And Madrigal had some nice at bats, even walked today. I just thought all across the board in the lineup, you got, like, whether it was big contributions from, like, Happ or Hoerner, you also got small contributions from everyone else. And that was kind of the thing, like, with the old core, like, it was boom or bust. You wouldn't get an equal amount of contributions out of everyone or just a little bit from everyone like we did today, for example. So, to me, it's what we saw from the offense today is a sign of what's to come in 2022. I don't know if we're going to get it every day. I don't know if we're going to win more than 80 games, even though I predicted 87. But I do think this offense will be a lot more fun to watch than it has been the last couple years.
Niren, by the way, I hope I said your name right, Niren. If it's not, give us another on the chat telling us how to say it. He did bet $2 on Nico Hoerner to be the first home run of the season, and he won $26.
And he's awesome. Celebrating with tacos.
Celebrating with
tacos, not the Cubby Kool-Aid shot.
Oh, he needs to get the Cubby Kool-Aid shot.
Kool-Aid shot.
That would probably
really
go good
going.
with tacos.
Yeah. Ice cold blue shot going down. So many things were good about this. I felt good for Nico Hoerner. I felt good, a little bit of a redemption for Kyle Hendricks after last season.
Yeah.
You had to feel good for Ian Happ.
Oh, yeah. This
leads the majors in hitting now, but he just missed a home run.
Yeah, just missed.
And by the way, yesterday I picked him lead the Cubs in home runs this season.
You did. He just had good at bats. He had a double in his first at bat. I think he had another. He had three for 4, right? So,
yeah.
He was getting it done all across the field today. And the defensively in left field, I know the Brewers scored on a throw home from him.
It wasn't a great throw.
And it wasn't great, but other than that, he had a great game. I guess if there's anything,
he had the bad elbow. That's what was keeping him out, right?
Which was surprising to why he was starting out there today. But whatever. I guess the only thing that if we want to sit here and bicker about something is the bullpen. But I tweeted earlier, I just think that it's going to be a work in progress. How do you feel about that, Corey?
The bullpen today?
Yeah.
I thought, for the most part, they were good. The double down the line that I think Martin gave up, it wasn't necessarily a super well-struck ball. It happens, just kind of where Wisdom was placed off the line. And interesting, I don't know if we can really read into this yet, but interesting to watch the progression that we saw today from Wick to Givens to Robertson. I don't know if that's an indication that Robertson's could be the closer or what, but just sort of interesting to peek at in this first game. Norris going multiple innings. I think a lot of the stuff that we talked about leading up to this season and this game specifically, we kind of saw in action today from David Ross.
Yeah, Norris, Cody pointed out, looked physically like Jake Arrieta in the jersey with the beard.
Yeah, he was rocking 49.
He really did look like him. I think this of the bullpen. I think we saw what David Ross will lean on as his go-to move for the bullpen early in the season. And we did mention yesterday that we're like, I don't think anybody is the bona fide closer. I don't think there's just one guy that's going to close games. Today it was Robertson. But in reality, he went to his 2 guys in high leverage. First, he went to Wick, and then he went to Givens. And I think that's how he had the game set up. I think he was thinking Wick into Givens to close, and Robertson just happened to be there, and he used, kind of playoff style and Joe Madden style. He went to his best guy or his closer that he thinks of right now, Givens, who has closing experience, in the situation where he thought they had to save the game, even though it wasn't the 9th inning.
Yeah,
and he got a huge strikeout.
The strikeout in the top of the 8th there. was huge because the Brewers had some momentum there. They were able to get within 1 run. And that this game, it was all about like just stopping the bleeding. There were, when the Cubs were up 3-1 and the Brewers came back to tie it, I kind of got this sinking feeling like, oh, here we go. And a lot of that is just because like we've been hearing it all winter. This team's gonna suck. This team isn't good. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So like I had that sinking feeling of maybe that is actual reality. But no, baby, tomorrow I get to ride this energy into tomorrow, and it is what it is. But yeah, that was the story today. Is like the bullpen, they gave up some runs, but they got the outs when they needed to, and the Brewers hitters, they it's kind of like what I've been saying. Like they have some guys who can do some things, but they had some chances and really didn't capitalize, and that's kind of why I'm kind of down on them this year.
Yeah. I saw that Ferris was saying the Cubs were competitive today. Cheers. Tristan pointing out the patience of Suzuki at the plate. The 2 walks, and especially that first one, it would be really easy for a guy coming over from Japan who's been an all-star, one of the best hitters in the league there, and he comes over and there's all these people, reaching for his autograph before the game, all the hype before the game, his major league debut and his first at-bat, he draws a walk. He's patient at the plate. He's not. There were so many times, like you said, on previous Cubs teams where you would have seen that guy and they'd been swinging out of their cleats, and we loved it sometimes.
Yeah.
But this was a guy who wasn't overwhelmed by the moment at all, clearly.
Right.
And he was able to draw 2 walks in his major league debut. Yeah. I think that's pretty impressive.
Right, and not being in that atmosphere, and obviously, like, the weather was a lot different for him.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to be up there and focus in that type of atmosphere, it's awesome. I'm excited to see his season play out.
I think that was about as good of a debut you could have asked for him. I mean, obviously it's a long season, but first of all, just to get, the first, he gets on base, he gets his first base hit, getting those out of the way so that we don't have any of those weird, like, oh, it's been this many games and he still doesn't have a hit, that kind of like weird pressure that we've seen from guys making debuts in the past. But also just to see, like you guys said, like the skills that we were hoping to see from him, the patience immediately coming in, especially against a guy like Corbin Burnes, just wasting no time. Like, this is how he approaches the game. This is his skill set. And he looked like he felt really comfortable there.
Yeah.
I wanted to add something really quick because I mentioned it to Jake. I mentioned it to you guys. But Burnes, the whole story of him last year was that the streak
we didn't
started the season with 40 strikeouts before I think he even walked a single guy. And Matty C in the comments, let me put it back up, or Matt K in the comments, 4 walks and 7 strikeouts versus Burnes is pretty damn good. The Cubs, I just pulled it up last season, they were 30th in the league in strikeouts on offense and 19th in walks. So
right.
It was promising. Rafael Ortega led off the season with the walk. Led off the season, yes. It's like we said in pregame, like it's just is a nice change of pace for this Cubs lineup.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. What I was saying too is like it's just like the offense will be fun to watch. Don't know how many wins it will translate to, but it's just going to be nice to be able to watch just some sort of consistency from everyone, it feels like.
The Cubs were 4-15 against the Brewers last season.
1-0
That's
in the
nice
last
to
one
see.
now.
A win against the Brewers.
Yeah, man.
Like I said in pregame, you have to be at least competitive against the Brewers and Cardinals if you want to compete for some sort of playoff spot this year. And you can feast. You have to feast against the Reds and the Pirates, but you also have to be at least competitive. You have to be better than 4-15. And Corey, go ahead.
Another thing that I want to add is I know it's opening day. I know it's April. But wins over the Brewers, it will be something that we look back on at the end of the year if we're in it.
This counts the same as a win in June.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that, like, you know all those bad losses they've had in the past that have, like, you've looked back and you're like, we missed the playoffs because of this, or, we had to play in the wild card game in 2018 because of this. And it's like, again, opening day, it's April, whatever, I get it. But these games, especially your divisional opponents, they mean just as much as the ones that are in September or August or whatever. So I know I'm jumping way ahead. But
I
it
did
is what
want
it
to.
is.
I did want to ask Corey this because you were at the ballpark. You were in your season seats. What is it? 216? Did I get that
sir.
right? Yeah,
That's
216. Right. You know, we spent a lot of time over the last month talking about how there were tickets available for opening day, and there were a lot of kind of angry vibes on Twitter this offseason.
It's been for like a couple years.
Yeah, for a long time. The paid attendance was 30-some thousand, like 35,000. How full was the ballpark? What kind of vibe did you feel around Wrigley? What was it like out there for opening day?
Yeah, I mean, that number seems about right. Like some of the back portions of like the lower bowl were kind of empty, especially down the lines, like in the corners there. But generally, like certainly wasn't full. But definitely, in contrast to like the second half last year, not like as many empty seats as we saw in some of those games where, it was like 25,000 in the attendance when they did the thing on the scoreboard. But I think like, in the last several years, we've gone into a lot of these seasons with pretty high expectations, and the vibes kind of on opening night or the home opener were pretty like electric because you sort of felt like, okay, we're beginning maybe like another championship journey or something like that. So that wasn't really here, but everybody seemed, I think, especially after the last couple of years that we've all sort of been dealing with collectively, you could tell everybody was very happy to be at the ballpark, walking through Wrigleyville. All the bars were full. The streets were full. Gallagher Way was full. And, once the game started, it kind of turns into like, look, we're riding with the team like we always do. I think we've kind of talked about it, like kind of measured expectations. But I mean, let me tell you, when Nico hit that home run, we're all looking around. Well, we're winning the division, so like let's ride. Like
I love that mentality though. I love it.
And kind of like you were making the point, Cody, about the wins against your division opponents matter just as much now as they do in September. And it only takes one Brewers fan sitting in your section when Cubs fans are going, let's go Cubbies, and they're interjecting with, let's go Brew Crew, or whatever they're saying. And you're like, all right, I'm fired up. I'm jacked up. They got to win this game. Let's get these outs, and we're going to sing the song and fly the W, right? So I think it's different than past years, but it felt really good to be there. Everybody was having a good time. And really quickly, I think everybody just switches gears to like, look, the offseason is what the offseason was. Go Cubs. Like, we're here. These are the boys. We're ready to ride.
Kevin and Ferris saying the chat's blowing up. Hit that like button. I agree.
I like
Hit
it.
The like
we got
button.
like triple digits. There's like more than 100 people in the chat.
When your team has the best record in baseball, you got to hit the like button.
Exactly.
You got to celebrate a little bit. You do the Cubby Kool-Aid shot.
Hit the like button.
You got to celebrate the small victories as much as the big victories.
That's right.
We want you to hit the like button so that more Cubs fans can find the show. That's a big part of it too. Right. If you're watching on Twitter, come watch on YouTube so that we could see your comments and get you involved in the comment section. But yeah, we got plenty more to come.
Listen, the more people that are in on the chat, the more it's going to feel like we're still at the game. And
exactly.
While I appreciate the fact that Corey was at the game and he's ice cold, I'm very happy that I'm nice and warm in the studio, and I enjoyed it right here from a leather couch at CHGO.
With me and listened to all my yelling. I looked at Luke.
Cody's an experience.
Like after like two innings, I was like fired up. I was like, because I was like, we were looking good in those first two innings, with Hendricks, and like I thought the at bats were good. I was like, I was fired up and I was getting excited. Luke's just sitting here, just like whatever, and I'm like getting excited. I'm like getting excited. I've seen a lot of baseball too, and I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's opening day. Maybe it's because like, I don't know. I just want the Cubs to prove everyone wrong. Like I think it's a little bit of both, but either way.
I'll tell you what it is. Here's the deal. We walked in the door today at CHGO for the Cubs game while everybody else was pre-gaming at Murphy's, at the Cubby Bear, at Smoke Daddy, all these different places, Rizzo's. We were here loading up on just garbage food. And somebody's going to have to keep an eye on me throughout the season just for my health concerns because I walked in the door, I had a Krispy Kreme donut. I followed it up with about 6 pieces of candy. Then the bosses went out and bought us lunch, so I had an Italian beef with French fries. And then what else did I follow it up with? I had another piece of candy, I think.
We've had a lot of junk food.
Twice. Twix. 2 Twix.
2 Twix.
Thanks, Casey, for pointing out that it was 2, not 1. I mean, it's going to be a problem. What did you have at the ballpark today, Corey? Did you eat healthy? Did you get a salad?
I saw you put the hot dog in the salad.
Cobb
I
salad?
had the hot dog. Yeah, I mean, I had the hot dog. We had some beers. That's about it. I'm not a big eater, but I made sure to get my hot dog. The onions were perfect. The relish as neon green as can be. So, yeah, all good.
Corey, for someone that's been talking about the hot dog for months now, I was kind of surprised that you were like eating. Were you eating like a stir fry before the game, or was that just your buddy that was like? I thought you were maybe going to save room for the hot dog. I was surprised you were going with the pregame meal.
I met a friend at Cozy Noodle across from Nice Lounge before we went to Nice. I did not have any noodles.
Cozy Noodle is great.
All right, just making sure you were saving room.
No, you're correct.
I've seen that place, and I've never got it.
Cody told me he'll buy a Michelob Ultra for everyone who hits the like button. Kevin claims
this is fake news, but I mean, if it gets more people in the chat, I guess I can
Well, it's been reported on the chat. It has to be real at this point. That's what's got to go. Listen,
everything you read on the internet is real and true.
This was as good of an opener as you could have for the Cubs, especially after a tough offseason for baseball fans. In some ways, for Cubs fans, it's been difficult from the end of last season to now getting to opening day.
Since the trade deadline.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Since that trade deadline to today, actually, let's go back 12 games before the trade deadline and say a little bit before that. It's been a rough stretch, and this opening day was a little boost of the old phrase, wait till next year. Well, it's here, and the Cubs got off to a good start, and I know it's just one game, but this is the better alternative if you had a choice of how the season was going to start.
For sure, and I know there's going to be losses, and I know there's going to be rough stretches and all of that. But I think if the Cubs can find a way to give this kind of effort every day for the next 161 games, we will at least be entertained throughout the rest of the season.
I love Matt Hannigan's comment here. How refreshing was that clutch pinch hit from Clint after years of seeing Descalso in the pinch?
Oh,
listen, I nothing against Descalso. It was cool to see. It was
Plenty,
cool to see Frazier. Frazier's one of the guys we're watching, right? He's one of the guys we're watching this season, and he looked like the real deal standing there at the plate. Yeah. I want to see him play. Some of these guys, I want to see him play tomorrow, but I also want to see Ian Happ play again after this opening day he had. So, what do you think of Frazier?
I mean, in his one hit, it was. He was going up against Ashby, I want to say it was.
I think so.
And he's one of their top pitching prospects or relievers, whatever you want to call it. And, as soon as he hit it, I looked at him and was like, this is going to earn him a start tomorrow. So I expect him to be in the lineup tomorrow. I think he deserves to be in the lineup. I think Hermosillo is going to get a chance here. I don't expect the same lineup tomorrow. I definitely do not. So it's going to be fun, man.
I never thought of this. Somebody's pointing out, January and some other people pointing out, this is why I need a nap. I'm crashing from sugar lows.
Probably.
Sugar lows. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that.
You need more carbs. You should just drink some beer or something.
Cubby Kool-Aid might not be the best idea for you.
I should save the Cubby Kool-Aid for the post-game show, probably.
Probably
a
for
good
you.
idea. Yeah. So, we go into this, and everything we asked a question about, I'm trying to think of someone that had, not to go negative, but who had a terrible game for the Cubs. There was nobody where you were like, more of that.
Maybe
Jason Hayward had 2 hits. Did you see his second hit, the launch angle he put on that thing? It was rocketed into the sky just like he wanted to. Hit it hard, found the open field.
Right in front of Colton Wong.
Right in front of Colton Wong. That's what that was one of those plays where you go, yep, it's opening day.
Yeah. No, that
can of corn pop up.
We're making the joke, but his first hit was nice.
It was nice.
And I think it was Joey. We were sitting over there at the couch, and Joey's like, you would take a hit from Hayward every day, like that.
Luke asked if you would take it every day. I said you would take a hit from Hayward every other day.
Or you said every other day.
You would absolutely take. I would
take that too. Like just some sort of production from him on offense
please do something.
Please. So it's awesome. His one hit that he actually really did have was good, right back up the middle. And that's kind of like whenever Jason Hayward is going well, it's when he's going right back up the middle, or if he's finding a way to take it the opposite side. Now, when he starts pulling the ball to second base, that's when you know he's not in and getting it done. And
that's when you know he's in midseason form.
By the way, Chief Redbeard really liked the Givens-Robertson end there, thought both guys worked well. What did you like that? I know we talked a little bit about it. Did you like the setup of the way those three went? Would you be cool if he went that way? I just don't think Robertson's the closer. I think that's the way it worked out, but I do like Wick into Givens.
Yeah, and the only thing about Wick I was a little scared about was his velocity was down a little bit. He was hitting like 92, 93, and I know he is a 95-plus guy. Corey, what are your thoughts on Wick? Because I don't really have any other than I'm a little worried about if he's healthy.
Yeah, that was my first thought too, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Normally when a guy's velo is around there, I get a text from Brendan that he's in an absolute panic about what he's looking at. Hopefully it's cold, it's first outing. He's dealt with some injuries in the past, so hopefully he's still just like ramping up. If he's sitting 92, 93 come, May and June, then, unfortunately, like it's just a question of whether that plays for him or not. That's not where we've seen him in the past and when he's been at his most successful. But I'm open to however they want to do that. Both Givens and Robertson have closer experience. So I think you were probably right on the money, Luke, that David Ross probably has maybe an ideal game plan on a given day, but we might see a few of these guys get those kind of high leverage opportunities.
So Joey, you said Ryan is going to be able to join us at some point?
Yeah, we're going to have Ryan jump on probably in like 5 or so minutes. And we'll just, we'll swap our Cubs inside reporters.
Insiders are changing out. Corey, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for running home to get to the post-game show for the big pre-game show hit that you did. And of course, the insight on what the ballpark was like, because we can't feel that here,
Corey, are you going back tomorrow?
All weekend, baby.
Oh, wow. Well, Sunday will be a good one.
The first place Chicago Cubs. Where else would I be?
Yeah, baby. I like that. For coming on, I am now endorsing you to now go back to the bars and celebrate with everyone else.
I can do, Cody.
Yeah, and we're going to need Corey to also repeat the steps that he took today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just for jinxing, don't want anything to go wrong. Like, you got to keep that.
We send you a video of my walk around Wrigleyville every day.
Everything. Same thing tomorrow. I don't care where it's at. We need about a 40-second video of what the vibe is outside Wrigley Field.
I'll try to change up the backdrop, keep you guys on your toes, like where I am and stuff.
Yes, that and your underwear. Change both of them before tomorrow. We'd appreciate it.
Got you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
For coming on, Corey.
You want to hit up points bet? Because we want to thank you for letting us be here.
So, like I said on pregame, Corbin Burnes under 7.5 strikeouts was a lock, and it was. And same thing about no runs first inning. I went 2-1 today, and I made all those bets on PointsBet, which the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, email PointsBet at allchgo.com, and we'll help you. Remember that PointsBet is your home for live in-game betting. They even have a new exclusive feature, live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, build the perfect live same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. You can even boost your live same-game parlays. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. And again, I say it on every show. If Luke can do it, all of you can do it. You can download it. You can make all the bets that I make and perhaps either win a lot of money or lose a lot of money. Depends on how hot I am.
Did your parlay work today?
My parlay lost. Let's not talk about the losses. When you're gambling, you think about the winners, and that's it. You put everything else out of sight.
I just was asking.
So, like I said, you can download it all from your phone. Signing up with the fastest sportsbook is now easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. Use code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
What a gamer Corey is, huh?
Oh, just in time.
And just as we say that, Corey says goodbye, and there he is. You all know him, Ryan Herrera.
He's here.
Ready to go from Wrigley Field. How was opening day?
Well, one, it was cold. I'll tell you that much. On the field, it was not the best weather. But no, it was great. I mean, the atmosphere is great. I think they said over 30,000 fans for a 120 game on a Thursday too. It's pretty good. But yeah, just the atmosphere was good. The press box packed. Obviously the Cubs got the win, so the place was loud. Cubs go or go Cubs go at the end of the game. It was quite a good experience outside of the weather. If it was like 85 degrees and sunny, yeah, it would have been awesome. But no, it was awesome.
Ryan, before we get into game-specific questions, I don't know if you saw Ronald Acuna and Freddie Freeman have some beef. Apparently it's because of some rookie hazing in the clubhouse. I'm wondering, were any of the guys in the press box, jabbing you around a little bit? First official game. Maybe.
Oh, besides calling us Chuggo.
Chuggo.
We're good.
Maybe they made you carry like the pink Hello Kitty backpack out to how they make the guys.
Well,
in
he's
the
been there
bullpen.
before, though.
Yeah.
You're right. But first day with the
That's right.
official.
We're good.
With Chuggo. That's good to hear.
It's just the sign of jealousy,
What did Kyle Hendricks and David Ross say about the pitching? Because, boy, there was questions about whether or not he'd be the opening day starter, and we all said he's got to be. Stroman said he's got to be, and that's why you want Kyle Hendricks as your starter. His third of his career on opening day, he was great.
Yeah, I mean, David Ross, we talked to him first, and he's like, yeah, he's asked about Hendricks' stuff and how it was playing today, the changeup. He's like, his stuff's about as good as it's ever been. Changeup movement as good as it's ever been. Curveball moving as much as and you see it. You saw how well he was pitching for the most part. Maybe a couple misses here and there, especially the hit by pitch. But he was pitching exactly how you want Kyle Hendricks to pitch in his first start of the season. So that's what David Ross was saying. Jared was actually the one that was in with Kyle. Maybe he can tweak something out and we can throw that on the screen. But yeah, I mean, just basically just confirm that, they knew Kyle Hendricks was the opening day starter for a while. They needed him to be Kyle Hendricks, and that's what he was today. And, that's
I apologize to the people for putting Kyle Hendricks as my trending down player. I apologize
in the
to them all.
preseason predictions.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't a good idea. I told you.
He was my comeback player of the year.
Oh, see, there you go. That's right. I forgot about that. Who else spoke after the game? Maybe Ian Happ. We get a little Ian Happ.
We did get a little Ian Happ. He said he's feeling good. He, we talked about his elbow stuff, that surgery he got in February. He said, he's not really feeling it. That throw that he should have, whoever it was, I think it was Colton Wong coming down from third. He said he just kind of got the wind kind of adjusted it. He just didn't get behind it like he's supposed to, which makes sense. I mean, it was windy here. Playing at Wrigley in April, the wind does crazy things with the baseball. But he said he feels good. I mean, obviously he had a 3-hit day. Said he thought that double off the wall had a chance off the bat to go out. But yeah, he said he was good. And actually, Nico, we talked to Nico about the home run, hitting the first home run of the Major League season. And he said that he's going to have to talk to Ian Happ and get some advice on how to kind of handle that. Because I think Happ did it in 2018. And Happ was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to tell him to keep doing that, keep hitting homers, and don't go cold like I did. So, just everyone in good spirits. You score 3 runs off Corbin Burnes and beat the Brewers 5-4 to open the season. So everyone's just kind of in good spirits down there.
They should be. That was a big win. I don't care if it is opening day.
Yeah, weren't you impressed with we were talking before you came on and you were in the clubhouse and getting sound about Suzuki, just how impressive it was that here's a guy who comes over to a new league, Major League Baseball for the first time. It's Wrigley Field, one of the bigger stages in the entire game, the federal landmark, as we like to call it, and he gets 2 walks. He shows the patience of a guy that's been in the league forever. 2 walks in his very first Major League game, not to mention a hit. I just thought, he looked like a guy who's been there and done that as opposed to somebody who was overwhelmed by their first Major League game.
Yeah, and we did that roundtable a few days ago on allchgo.com. Go check it out, sign up, be a member. But we did that roundtable, and one of the things was what do we want to see out of Suzuki to start the year? And I said, there's going to be that adjustment period. We know that he might not hit a ton of home runs coming out. His average might not be insane coming out of the gate. But if he can go out there, show plate discipline that has been talked about for him, draw the walks, work at bats, work good counts. That's a good step and a good sign that he's, starting off the season successfully, even if maybe the numbers weren't there. And you saw today, again, the 2 walks. I think Jared said that, again, Suzuki said that those 2 walks were like the thing he was most proud of today, working those counts and taking those walks, getting on base for the team. So that's what you're going to want. That's what the Cubs are going to want out of Suzuki to start, even if the average, the slugging percentage is not there. It's just him showing that good plate discipline whenever he comes up. And that's, once an adjustment period goes by, that's obviously going to translate very well to a successful rest of the year.
Just curious, did Wilson Contreras talk about the hit by pitch, or was he not seen in the clubhouse?
I did ask him. He didn't seem too fazed by it. I think he actually kind of says, like, it's good that it, led to the win. I think that probably helped him just like shake it off. I asked him, Caratini was back there, old battery mate at catcher, and he's like, yeah, he just, Caratini's like the nicest guy in the world. Didn't, he said cool off, and he said he knew. I think it was Cousins that hit him. He's like, I knew Cousins wasn't trying to hit me, so it's like it's whatever. So at least not stoking the fire just yet, but we'll see. If he gets hit 4 more times this season, that might be a different story.
But again, that's why when we talked about the off season of question marks and stuff, I said eventually, whether he's saying the right things or not, some of this stuff will likely bother Wilson Contreras because he is emotional.
Yes.
He's one of the emotional leaders of the team. He wears his heart on his sleeve, if you want to call it that. Like, he's the guy that in the moment on the baseball field, his first reaction was like, bow his chest out a little bit, like, what are you doing? And then I do think it kind of crept into his head, well, that was the count, and Caratini's back here, and everything's all right. But
yeah,
I love that his
also
first,
late in the game, too.
I also like that his first reaction was a little fire on opening day.
Yeah, and that's some of the things that not only fans, but just, the Cubs like about him.
Right.
So, yeah.
Ryan, what do you expect tomorrow from your guy? We got the interview from you and Justin Steele and Meza. What do you expect from him? Probably the biggest start of his career so far.
Well, I know he wants to. I know he says he's just here to get outs. So that's definitely what he's going to be trying to do out there. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. First start of the year, first start of really his. He had the rookie year last year, obviously, but he wasn't a starter for the whole time. So this is really the first start of his what could be a full season as a major league starter. And it's against the Brewers, who have probably been picked most often to win the division. So it's going to be a tough challenge. Who knows how much he's built up and how far he can go into the game. I guess we'll see. As far as expectations, I think, maybe he could, if he doesn't get through 4 innings, that might be, I don't know the right word to say, but he should get through at least 4 innings, if not 5. We saw Kyle get through 5 1/3 today. But if Steele can work through 4, especially if he's not as built up as Kyle, I think that'll be a good sign moving forward. He's just here to get outs, right? Just here to get people out. So.
And we'll see what the weather is like tomorrow. Obviously, the forecast is horrible for the second game of the season, and if they are playing the game, how will he be able to handle the conditions? I would assume it's better to be a pitcher than it is a hitter if you're going to have 36 degrees and snow and rain off and on. So
yeah,
we'll see. But Steele is scheduled to pitch tomorrow. We'll talk more about that later. Ryan, what are you and Jared working on for? Because we know your stuff will be at allchgo.com tonight. So people should subscribe, become a member, because that's where they're going to be able to read most of your stuff, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about opening day, obviously, and just what it is here, as gloomy of a day outside of the ballpark as it is. Just what it's like being, especially back at the ballpark, considering we didn't know that there would be an opening day on April 7th for months, the last few months. Jared's putting his hot takes on Kyle Hendricks together right now. We'll talk a little bit of Hoerner, a little bit of Suzuki, but we're gonna have some good stuff. It's opening day, so we can never have too much content. But yeah, all CHGO.com, become a member, support us, read our stuff, and we'll keep feeding you guys some good stuff.
Good stuff, man. You want to jump off and get to work?
Let's do it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping
Ryan.
in. Appreciate it. Ryan Herrera, don't forget, as we mentioned, allchgo.com. You got to go there because that's where you're going to read his stuff. And I saw it was Rachel pointing out that it really is great writing that they're putting out there, and so you want to make sure you subscribe. Now we want to get to quickly our preseason predictions. The whole CHGO Cubs team jumped in on our predictions for what the Cubs' record will be this season, who's going to advance to the postseason in the National League, who's going to win the World Series, and Joey has some of those graphics for us. Why don't we start with the playoff teams in the National League?
Yeah.
No, you know what? Let's start Cubs record. We showed that in pregame, but if somebody didn't see it because they were running to go to the game or whatever, there's a lot of optimism from Cody picking 87 wins.
Yep. I had when we made these picks, I had a really good drink that day.
86 to go.
Yeah, 86 wins to go, baby.
86 to go.
Yeah.
Ryan and Corey are conservative, but still showing 77 wins. I'm the next optimistic guy on there at 81 and 81, and I only have 80 to go. So I feel good about that as well. And like we've said, the reason there's optimism here is there are so many wild cards on this roster.
Right.
And you could also call those question marks, but if you're looking at it as glass half full, those are wild cards.
Right.
Those are wild cards. Those are not question marks. They're wild cards. Anything can happen.
Right.
And you don't know where you're getting out of some of these guys.
If you get a lot of days like, say, a Suzuki today,
Yep.
those wins are going to be more than any of us think here.
You didn't think Nico Hoerner was going to be the first home run of the season.
No.
You didn't know if Ian Happ was going to go 3 for 4.
They handled Corbin Burnes today.
Right.
Reigning NL Cy Young Award winner. So I'm feeling good about Brandon Woodruff tomorrow, folks. So
Yeah. We'll see.
if you want some of the Kool-Aid or whatever I'm drinking to think about 87 W's, feel free to slide in my DMs.
All right, let's look at our picks for the National League playoff teams.
Yep.
And we each went on there. We all went and made our picks. And I would say most of the picks for National League playoff teams were very similar. Nobody went crazy wild on the preseason predictions. And I think that's sort of reflective of the haves and the have-nots right now in baseball, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody has the Dodgers in the postseason.
Right.
Everybody.
Yep.
And that makes sense.
And Atlanta.
And everybody has Atlanta. You took the Cubs.
I did.
Ryan's
take the
got the
Cubs
Brewers too. It must have gotten exported incorrectly.
Oh,
but
Ryan
he's got the Brewers as well.
Yeah, I did take the Cubs because if I think they're gonna win 87 games, then I think they could win the Central.
Wait, we all have the same teams. I'm looking at this now. We all have San Francisco. We all have Philadelphia going to the postseason. We all have San Diego going to the postseason.
Ryan has Philadelphia.
We all have
as well.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
We all have the Dodgers. The only team that's different is Cody with the Cubs, and clearly he's winning this prediction so far because they're the only team in baseball with a win as we record this post-game podcast.
I feel like someone messed mine up because I definitely had St. Louis on there. I thought, but
maybe when you jump to take the Cubs,
but maybe that was meant to be.
I think those teams that we have are the likely playoff teams, and if some other team gets in there, it wouldn't be shocking. It wouldn't be shocking to see the Cardinals in there.
You're right. Cody has Cardinals as wild card 1. That should be STL instead of SD.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And there's reason behind that when we get to like playoff predictions. And
so instead of San
but,
Francisco, you're calling the Cardinals.
I would say.
Or who are you taking out? San Diego?
He moved
Philly?
San Diego down to the last wild card spot. That's what he has on his prediction.
I don't think I had San Francisco in there. Yeah. So
I just don't think there are too many other teams in the National League that are going to jump into that picture.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good list.
The reason mine's a little wild is because that's what baseball is. So I got a little wild.
There's one team missing from our 3. That is the Mets.
Yeah.
Then the Mets are sort of an interesting team going into this. You know, Syndergaard being hurt early in the season is why I think some of us dropped them off this list.
DeGrom?
DeGrom, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
DeGrom being injured. That's why I took them off the list and went Phillies instead. Plus, I think Kyle Schwarber. So Brendan is going for his World Series prediction. The Giants over the Yankees, bold. Corey is going Boston over the Dodgers. I'm going with the Dodgers over the Blue Jays. Ryan, Dodgers over the White Sox. And Cody, how could you, the Cardinals over the Blue Jays?
Luke, this is one of those instances where when you reverse jinx. Like that's what we're doing here.
The old reverse
That's
jinx.
what we're doing here. That's why they're a wild card team. That's why I have them in the World Series.
There it is.
And also, I do kind of feel like, baseball would just love to just ride that Yachty, Pujols, and freaking Wainwright retirement tour into November. It's disgusting, but
Right. That's
yeah.
what you're doing. You're doing the voodoo jinx on the Cardinals. Voodoo jinx coming at you.
That voodoo magic. But again, it is a reverse jinx. So please do not ratio me on the internet.
Please don't ratio.
Yeah.
If you enjoy CHGO, and we hope you do, one way to help us continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use the code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. As mentioned, Jared and Ryan will be writing articles tonight. You'll see them all season long. You'll also get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO Locker, #DopeMerch. And if you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up available in Illinois. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now, register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. I did it. You can do it. You'll be signing up with the fastest sports book, easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Man, the chat is still going strong. A lot of people on there.
Yeah.
Tristan is surprised by no Mets picks. I just told you why I dumped them off. I like the Phillies as much as I like the Mets, and they're not starting with that same type of injury. I think the Phillies are going to score so many runs that they're going to be in a lot of games.
Yeah, the only thing that's holding Philly back from me choosing them as an NL East winner is their defense. Like, they just don't have any elite defenders.
No, they don't.
They're going to be relying a lot on that offense to carry. And I think they'll get that from Castellanos and Schwarber and Harper. But as we've talked about, it takes a full lineup to really be good. And I do think they have some nice pieces. I like Bohm over at third base for them. But, again, there's a lot of questions defensively for that team. And, they're – baseball, again, it's wild. How many times have we seen the teams have had the best offseason just flop? So I don't think the Phillies had the best offseason, but they had a really good one. They're going to be good, but I think they're one of those wild card teams.
Clark, by the way, another member of our CHGO team, is putting his prediction in there for 122-40 for the Cubs. So that's positive as well.
He had a lot of my juice that I was drinking.
He had a lot of the Cubby Kool-Aid today. Hey, by the way, CHGO, we hope you love what we're doing.
Yeah.
Please support us. Join the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the like button. What else can they do? All those different things to help us.
They can subscribe.
Becoming a member,
YouTube,
going to PointsBet.
Follow us on Twitter. All of our different. We got all of our different beats.
You
got that?
At Luke Stuckmeyer.
Luke Stuckmeyer, yeah.
We got
on the gram. You can find us on the gram, as the kids say.
CHGO Cubs.
Find us on the gram.
Cody's on the Tick and Talk.
I am.
Correct.
I am on the Tick and the Talk.
Follow our official Cubs account, CHGO Cubs.
CHGO_Cubs.
And CHGO_sports.
We'll be back tomorrow. Corey and Brennan will have weekend series their series recap on Sunday.
Right, and don't forget that tomorrow, that pitching matchup, Steele and Woodruff. I do feel, first of all, I'll make my bold prediction of the day. That game's going to get banged. I don't think it's happening. Yeah. And the difference between the crowd today and tomorrow will be this: people that had tickets for today, you don't bail on opening day. You go at all costs because you've already called in for work. You've already called in school. That second game with a mixture of rain and snow. Listen, if I were the scheduling master, I would move that to a doubleheader on Sunday when it's supposed to be 60-plus degrees and perfectly sunny at Wrigley Field. Go ahead, start playing too.
Yeah, I mean, that or just move the game to a an off day or whatever
An
later
off
in
day.
the year.
But you got the Brewers here. Why not try and jam two of them in on Sunday when the weather's perfect?
That's fair.
People run down to Wrigley Field, your first chance to be out of the packed
The only reason
ballpark.
I'm kind of against that is just because, again, we're ramping up all the pitchers still, and I'm not sure if I want the Cubs bullpen to just be wrecked after 4 games. So, it is what it is. But if they want to change tomorrow's game to Sunday, I'll get up for it on Sunday.
Look at Ronan. Membership secured. T-shirt
being
shipped.
Being shipped to Ireland, which is not in the United Kingdom, by the
Not
way.
in the United Kingdom.
Someone let
That
Ryan
is
know.
true. And Benjamin pointing out, he says, am I the only Cardinals fan that thinks Pujols is washed out? No, but that is for another podcast.
Oh, God.
So, hey, great opening day. Cubs win 5-4.
Cubs
They're
win,
in
baby.
first place, the best team in baseball. Nobody can match the Cubs right now. They're the leaders of Major League Baseball.
Isn't it great? It's great to say, man. I can't wait to come back and do this all again tomorrow.
Thanks for dropping by the CHGO Cubs podcast and postgame show. We're flying the W. We hope you are too. We'll see you tomorrow.